MLB The Show's coverage of minor league baseball is on the air as we continue our tour around the minor league. And before we get too much further, here's a look at each manager's starting lineup here for the opener. Chris Miller will stand in to start things out. Fastball swung on and missed for the first out.
As a hitter, when you're not...
Chris Miller. And here's a fastball that swung on and lifted down the left field line. Chavis will settle under it to make the play for the first out as the runner will have to head back to first. Chris Miller will step in now. Dugout.
Yeah, he cannot be liking what he's seeing, that's for sure.
Now here's a ball hit hard on the ground to second. And that's through into right field for a base hit. And they are on the board as the run scores from second to make this a 2-1 game now.
And you can see the pitch.
Trips. And this is in the air now out to left. Miller is under it and he makes the catch for out number. Chris Miller. He takes strike three called on the fastball. Couldn't pull the trigger, and there are
two. To get you out of this.
Big swing there as it's hit pretty well out toward deep left field. And now he has some trouble with it in left. Around second. He'll try for third. Around third and being waved on home. And he will come all the way around to score. Unbelievable. 2-2 pitch is hit in the air out to left. Miller will settle under it to make the play for the first out as the runner will have to head back to first. It's time for baseball now as the show's tour of the minors continues with a stop in the Southern League. And before we progress any further, let's have a quick look at our two starting lineups for tonight. Chris Miller will stand in, hoping to just keep riding the... Now a fastball as he just reared up and let that one fly, and the inning is over. So they get a man. And this ball's hit pretty well, high and deep to straightaway left. Miller has to retreat a bit, but he gets there for out number one.
It's a double play, but instead now you're in hot water here with one away.
Strike. And they're going to have a leadoff base runner here as the fastball's lined into left, a base hit. Chris Miller will step in now.
But you're never going to get on top of that thing when it's up that high.
Now he takes something off there as this is skied out to fairly deep center field. Catch made in straightaway center as the runner tags from second. And he's up to third safely now with two gone in the inning. And he will be tagged out at the plate. So it remains a 1. Here's a fastball that swung on and hit pretty well out to deep left field. Miller is going to get there as he backs up to put it away. And there are two gone.
Definitely off to a slow start, so he's going to need to string together.
Here he comes again, 1-2. Big swing there as it's hit pretty well out toward deep left field. Ozuna will settle under it to make the play for the first out as the runner will have to head back to first.
Yeah, it looked like...
The show's continuing coverage of minor league baseball is on the air. And before we get on with things here this evening, a look at the two starting lineups we'll see featured tonight. Chris Miller.
That's a pitch you gotta leave alone and make him bring something down.
And this will be lined into center field, and they've got themselves their first hit of the ball game. And now he has some trouble with it in center. And a good at-bat there. Chris Miller.
And that's an important factor, too, because that's the tying run over there at first base. So he's likely scoring on an extra base hit.
On to first, and it's dropped. And not what he wanted to. Now a hard hit ball back up the middle. And that is through into center field, a base hit. And that'll bring home the run. Chris Miller. Swing and a ball hit hard on the ground is short. And that's through, a base hit. Throw will hold that runner at second base, and now there are 2 on with 2 out. And a changeup that time that's lifted in the air out toward left. Miller is there, and he'll put it away to retire the side during his 2 trips so far. Now a slider that swung on and hit in the air out toward left. Miller will get there with ease as he puts it away. Chris Miller comes set. Now the pitch. And he takes ball 4. So now at least they're set up for the force at any base here with 2. Big swing there as it's hit pretty well out toward deep left field. Miller has to retreat a bit, but he gets there for out number 1. Chris Miller will step in now. Runner staying tight to the bag at second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a ball hit fairly well, heading high and deep toward right center. Long run, but he gets there to track this one down. And he's definitely been a tough nut to crack.
No, he's been dominant all game long, and I think part of it is that he got himself a nice lead.
Well, either. This has been a great pitching performance so far, and they've had these guys chasing their tails all game long.
Miller is going to get there as he backs up to put it away, and there are 2 gone. It's time for baseball now as the show's tour of the minors continues with a stop in the Southern League. And before we get much further, here's a look at our starting lineups tonight. Chris Miller will stand in trying to keep that hitting streak alive. Now a swing, and he pops him up right up the chute. This may be tough behind the plate. Reese is there to make the catch, and the side is retired. Chris Miller. On the 8th pitch of the at-bat is the one that finally does it as he wears him down, and the Chris Miller will stand in for the 3rd time. Now a swing and a softly hit ground ball. And the 5th inning will start with a ground out, 1 away.
This is a pretty
Chris Miller will stand in, and it's a bull. And a good bite to that slider as he swings through it for the first out of the inning. And he gets around on the fastball here as this is hit fairly well out toward left field. Miller is going to have room out there as he puts this. It's time for baseball now as the show's tour of the minors continues with a stop in the Southern League. And before we get too much further, here's a look at each manager's starting lineup here for the opener. Chris Miller. Here's a ground ball to first.
Beat it out, beat it out.
And he'll take this to the bag, 3 unassisted for the first out. Swing and a miss on the fastball that time, out number 2.
And you know,
Chris Miller. Now a fastball as this is hit fairly well out toward left center. Reese calls off the left fielder as he takes charge for the 2nd out.
and I'll tell you, I like.
Now the 0-1 is lifted in the air out to left field. Miller is there, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. And welcome back, everybody. Matt Vasgersian prepping you for tonight's AAA PCL action. But before we get to the ball game, let's have a look at the Bowman Prospect Spotlight. Chris Miller will be our subject, and he'll join the AAA squad as an injury replacement. Not only that, but he'll be starting today as well. Now on your home for minor league baseball, MLB The Show has coverage from the AAA Pacific Coast League. And before we close in on first pitch, a look at the starting lineups here for the finale. This is on the ground to short. Is he going to get out of this? He is. They get the force at second base. And Chris Miller. Hit hard toward the right side. And that gets down and ought to be good for extra bases. And he is in at second base with a one-out double. And how about that, guys? He just tallied his first hit in AAA. A nice moment as we see the ball being tossed into the dugout there. Chris Miller. And this runs inside, and that looked like it got him pretty good. Chris Miller. And he takes ball 4, so a good job out of the 9-hole in getting on base. Now from your exclusive home for minor league baseball, MLB The Show is on the air. And before we get too much further, here's a look at each manager's starting lineup here for the opener, the top of the first. Now a slider that swung on and hit in the air out toward left. Miller is there, and he'll put it away to retire the side. Nothing. Chris Miller. Now a check swing, but he makes contact and hits it out in front of the plate. And he'll take it onto the bag himself. 2 gone now here in the. Chris Miller. Pitch in the dirt, swung on and missed for strike 3 as they'll need to throw to first here. And the throw is in time. Chris Miller will stand in to start.
That bad. He could go just about anywhere from here.
Now a swing and a softly hit ground ball. And a rather easy first out.
This is a pretty simple play.
Now the 1-2. And here's a swing and a ball lifted in the air into fairly deep center field. And now he has some trouble with it in center. Around third and being waved on home. And he will pull into third with an RBI triple.
Just about got out of the inning there, but he serves up the 2-out triple, and now all of a sudden, game's tied at 1.
And a chance at redemption, too, because he hasn't done much through his first 3 plate appearances.
Meanwhile, this ball gets down. It's a base hit. And the go-ahead run will score from third. As a tightly contested ball game here, so it makes it hard to find our top player of the game, but I think this fella right here would seem to be the logical choice.
Yeah, and I think we probably could have.
Shaking your hips, now can you do this?